Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Well, it has been a volatile week. It seems like we have a little bit more volatility going on today, which is a good thing. Trading is good when you have volatility. That's where you're going to make the most money. I actually got asked a question yesterday, and this was a great question. Do you make more money when stocks are just going straight up? Stocks are coming straight down? Are they all over the place? Does it matter? The answer is when stocks are volatile, that's when you're going to make the most money. Why? Because you're going to create those W and M formations, which we're going to talk about today. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say W or M formations, that's okay. I'm going to walk you through it here in a second. And it's very, very simple to understand, especially when you start seeing it over and over again, especially over a long period of time. So let's start to get into it. I'm going to pull you over to my trading view charts right now, and we will get rolling. So let's see. Out of my couple examples, this is perfect, CCL. So CCL is a company that I have been trading for quite some time. We got into it up here. We're making a lot of money on the way down right now. But we're saying, okay, what are these W and M formations? What's this volatility you're talking about? Well, let's look at it. So do you want a stock to kind of just fall straight down? No. What happens when stocks just go straight down or just go straight up? Well, there's nothing built in here. It's great. You love seeing it in your account. You love seeing plus 20% in a matter of 3 days, right? But often you notice that just disappears and it comes all the way back down. So why does volatility help? Volatility helps because when you get a big pullback like this, we had a lot of negative days in a row, right? Well, we need these positive days so we can make these M formations. We want stocks to go back up. Why? Because they create these levels of resistance. So when we're shorting, a stock is coming down. I need it to go back up. I want to have positive days. For those of you that are in the Patreon community, I posted something, I believe it was yesterday, and I said, I hope that a lot of my stocks are positive today, meaning that I am losing money on them. Why? Because I need to create these M formations so that I get this level of resistance. So now, based on yesterday and looking at it today, this is a great example. It pulls back a little bit and then it starts to fall. This level right now is going to be very hard for CCL to break through and just keep going and going and going. Why? Because it's kind of created a roof. It's like going in the roof of a house. You're going to run into that roof and you're obviously going to fall back to the floor. And that's exactly the same thing when it comes to trading, when it comes to patterns. So we like seeing, like in this is actually a good example. If we move the chart over, we had this thing that went up, pulled back, went up, pulled back. You realize this pullback right here, it didn't make it up to this level. It didn't make it up to this level. So if we just keep putting in these break steps, this pullback didn't even come close to this level. This area right here is going to be our new level, and you can kind of see how we're having these lower highs. So this high is lower than this high. This high is lower than this high. This high is lower than this high, and you can kind of see where I'm coming from. So you need these rebounds in stock price to make sure that you're going to stay down and keep going down. Let's see if we can find a comparison of something that just went straight up. Let's see here. It's not a very good example. Let's see if we can find something. Actually, you know what? Well, here's a good example. Lulu. This thing went straight up on earnings or news or something. And what did it do? See, it pulled that back halfway down. Went up again, pulled back halfway down. Went up again, and then it came all the way back down. You're not going to be able to stay up here because there was none of these pullbacks in here, right? So you need these. Look at this. Here's those little rebounds. See this? Good example here. Another good example. And I'll take some of your questions. See this day right here? Well, what happened? Ran up, pulled back, ran up, pulled back, ran up, pulled back. Didn't really do anything, kind of there. It ran up, and what did it do? It ran into this line right here. And now you're starting to get that move down. So there you go. That's kind of what I'm talking about when you need these pullbacks. So it can't just be all making money, making money, making money. That's good, but we want to make money over a long period of time, and these pullbacks are going to help us. So let's see what we have here. Is it too late to get on the bandwagon for CCL, Jets, Lulu? Well, let's see. Let's start with SkyWest. So SkyWest is one that I've been in for Sometime now. Got into it somewhere around here, around 105. Was it 105? It was somewhere up here. Is this too, well, this one's a little low on the stochastic. I wouldn't advise getting in here unless we just completely take out this low and start moving down. But I think this one is a little bit late. Let's see CCL. And we're just going to base this off of where the stochastic is. This one is not too low. Now, here's the caveat here. First of all, you need to break this low. You need to get down here, but you have earnings coming up. We have earnings coming up. I believe it's in less than 2 weeks, March 21st. So, actually, it's really coming up. So we have 8 days left, including today, before earnings. So earnings are next Friday. We're going to have to be out of the stock by next Friday. So I would say don't get into this unless we get this big move down. Lulu's probably the one. Well, let's see when earnings are. April 1st, was it? April 1st. So April 1st is where we're going to be. I don't think it's too late. Let's take earnings out of this. Let's just take earnings out of this. It's not too late because this is really your middle of the road in the sweet spot. You have a long way to go, but we have earnings April 1st. There's still 2 weeks off. We're hung up on the 200 right now. Get an engulfing below the 200 and maybe you can enter this thing. But the bulk of that trade has been pretty good for us. Another one, Jets. Jets doesn't have earnings because Jets is an ETF. This is not too late either, but you need an engulfing candlestick down. So you're in the middle of the sweet spot. You need an engulfing candlestick down, taking out, I would say, the low of yesterday, the low of the wick, and get away from the 200. That's the idea of getting that engulfing candlestick. So those are the 4 trades that I am currently in right now. Up quite significantly on them. I don't know where I am as of today, but as of yesterday, I was up about 9% on Lulu, 11.5% on Jets, 21.9% on SkyWest, and 14.5% on CCL. So that's where we're sitting with those. Let's see what Zoom is doing. Zim. Let's see what Zim is doing. So Zim is breaking down. Nothing really going on there of interest. Netflix. So I have Netflix on here. I left it on here because I want to see if I can get down here into the sweet spot. This is actually a very big head and shoulders pattern. So you just have a massive head and shoulders pattern. And what happens with head and shoulders? Well, you get this, and that's exactly what you got. So let's see if it can break down even further so we can do something with it. So those are the stocks that I'm in. I shouldn't really call this Mo's watch list. I should call this Mo's trades. Excuse me. These are a couple that I was interested in the other day. I believe Hans sent these to me. AppLovin. I really like this one. Why? Because I liked it over here. So he sent it to me on Tuesday. That was here. So what I need to do is take out this low. If I can just get an engulfment down there. And am I upset about what's happening with this? No. Need it to break down. If this is going to have any longevity of continuing this trend and being running through the sweet spot, I need to have these pullbacks in there. So I'm happy to see that one. Let's go Duolingo. Same thing, running through the sweet spot. Needed to take out probably these lows of let's just call it 267.85. I need to get down below 267.85 before I do anything with Duolingo. But I like what I'm seeing there. Live Nation has been a fantastic swing trade. Absolutely fantastic swing trade. Those of you that caught, actually, let me know if you caught this one. Great job if you did. Let's see if this has room to run on the long term. Let's see here. Oh, absolutely. This has room to run on the long term. Man, we can get this thing all the way down to 105, and I bet you this thing will come down to 97. So some of you may look at this that have not been experienced traders and say, well, this thing went down from 156 to 116. The trade's probably over because a lot of money was made. Well, if you look at the long-term stochastic, the trade hasn't even started yet. So if you wanted to take a position here today, I would be okay with you getting in a little bit early here. Maybe don't go with 100% position. So if you're going to put in like 10 grand, put in 2, something like that. But I do think you can get down here at some point. Let's see what we have. May 1st earnings, so that we don't have to worry about earnings for 6 weeks. AMD. AMD is a dog stock. Let's zoom this chart way out so we can see really So this is pretty obvious. Stock price is right here. And look, these lows all in here, all in here, all in here, low here, high here. So you're pretty much at a base. When are earnings? Let's see if we can see. May 6th, plenty of time. 7 weeks. Honestly, I think this is a great stock to put a tracker share on. Buy one share. Actually, you know what? I'll put a tracker share on this one right now. It's 99 bucks. I'm not going to execute the trade right now. I'm just going to put it on. I'm going to write this down. Come on. AMD. I'm just going to put it in after the show's over. AMD tracker. Okay. Why am I doing that? Well, let me explain. I'm doing that because I want to see this in my brokerage account every day. And this is a dog stock. And at some point, this is going to start creeping up here and moving to the sweet spot. And just like Jets did on the way down, I want to be the first one in it to get a little run up. And I bet you this thing runs to, I don't know, 131, somewhere in there. We'll see what happens. I entered HLT, Hilton. Whoa. Big move down. I threw a tracker on AMD on Monday. Great move. Oh, I like that. Good job. Good job. I'm going to zoom out now that I can see more. So you're probably going to run into a little resistance here. Nice trade, man. Good job. Who did this? Tony, good job. Earnings, you don't even have to worry about. I bet these are, April 30th. You got plenty of time. Good trade. Moving through the sweet spot. Let's see the swing trading chart. Great. Broke through the 200. I love it. Great job. Great job. And this is something else I should say. For those of you that are relatively new, I know it's exciting for me to pull up a trade like this and you go, oh man, I should get into this thing because Tony's making money on it. And you don't need to get into every trade, okay? I'm not getting into this trade. I'm looking at this going, yeah, this is a great trade. I'm in 4 trades right now. I never trade more than 5 at one time. It's just too much to keep track of. But don't just trade everything because you can, okay? Unless it kind of speaks to you, don't trade it, all right? Netflix we can remove from here. Robinhood, let's see. So Robinhood, waiting to get into the sweet spot. We'll see what happens. Oh, you're right. Sorry, Peter. I said Tony. Tony's AMD's tracker share. Peter, it's your Hilton trade. Don't just get in it because he's in it or anybody's in it. So this is your base here on Robinhood. If we can engulf below the line I just drew at 35.38, I think you're going to be in the sweet spot. Make a nice move down. Google, I'm not shorting Google. I'll keep this on here to go long on it, but I'm not going to do anything short on it. I just don't like shorting the Magnificent Seven, FANGs, what have you, whatever you want to call them at this point. I don't even know what the top stocks are. It's basically NVIDIA at this point. I don't know. All right. So what other questions do you guys have? I went through the audience list. I went through my trades. Those are the big ones. I'm going to rename this. I don't like this name. No. I like your guys' name. I don't like my name. I'm going to put Mo's. Let's just call it list. Mo's list. There we go. Okay. In the last live stream, you mentioned you didn't have much interest in Hood, Netflix, Google, Tesla. How come? It's not that I don't have interest in them. I don't have interest in shorting them. Why? Because any bit of news can change those things on a dime. For instance, this is a great example. I don't know when this was with NVIDIA, but it was probably here. NVIDIA was breaking down. You can tell there's no earnings in here, right? No, there wasn't an earnings report. No, it fell all this way. And then all of a sudden, it just skyrocketed back up. And here you had another one, NVIDIA, not really doing much in here. And then all of a sudden, boom, big jump. I don't like shorting the big guys like that. It's too difficult. It's too difficult to Tesla. Another example. I don't know if you put that one in there. It's just, I mean, this is back when Trump won the election. Stock price jumps up 15%. I just don't like doing it. Can you make a lot of money on the way down? Yes, but things can change on a dime. I guarantee you, if a report came out today, God forbid it does, because they got to clean up all this mess that's going on in DC. But if a report came out today that Elon Musk was leaving the White House to go back to Tesla and he was done with Doge, I guarantee you the stock price would jump. And you would have, and right now, this is a beautiful short. And it's just those kind of random things, just they happen and you can't control them. And when it comes to these big guys, things can move 15, 20, 25% in a day for no reason whatsoever. And you are in a perfect sweet spot situation where the gap is widening, you're getting engulfing candlesticks, you're filling gaps, you're clear of resistance, you have good volume, and then it just changes on a dime. So when it comes to Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, Nvidia, what else did you say? Tesla, Robinhood. I just have a hard time shorting those things for those reasons. Not saying you can't. It's just hard. If you want it, it's more practical to do it on a swing trading chart or a day trading chart. I just don't like doing it from a long-term perspective. So that's it. I hope that answers your question. You probably won't hear that from a lot of people, but a lot of people also haven't been doing this for 20 plus years. I know, God forbid, Hans. Nvidia is so range bound since June. Wouldn't ever short on the way down, but catching the run back up 100%. Go long on those things. So let's zoom out on Nvidia. Range bound since June. Here, I could just draw the range in. The range is kind of like this. That's kind of your range. You peaked out of it a little bit, but that's what I would do. I wouldn't look to go short here. You can kind of see this line I just drew. We're sitting at it. Has it peaked out a couple times? Sure, but it hasn't sustained. I would try to catch this run back to 140. At some point, this is going to turn and go like that. That's when I would try to catch it. Try to catch it back to 140. Did you see Adobe this morning? No. What did Adobe do? ADBE. Okay. Adobe is down 10% on a top and bottom line beat. Cool. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I just let it calm down, see what happens on Monday. Is the run over for FTDR? FTDR. Front door. Let's see. So they reported earnings. They were down 20%, down another 11. Or is the run over? I mean, you're at a pretty nice bottom here. Why do I say that? Well, here's the price, current price right here. And look at, you have these tops here, top there, kind of a consolidation channels there. This is kind of, a couple tops in there. Here was a bottom, here's a top. And even going back to the beginning, yeah, I would say you're probably at a bottom. Now, could it go lower? Yeah, it could go lower. These are probably the levels right here that it would go to. But I don't know. I think you're probably, that's a pretty big hit. I mean, it looks like if we just go and look, those are kind of your support levels. If we just go and look over the past 10 days, down 19%, down 2%, down 11%, up 3, flat, down 3, down 3, down 3, down 1, down up 2.5, down 3.5 today. So you're down pretty significantly, and you can kind of you can see over the last 2 or 3 days, 4 days, you're kind of starting to build this consolidation channel right here. I think that's probably where you're going to sit. It's early, but Starbucks long term if it clears the 200. I remember removing this from my list the other day, just because it wasn't really doing much. Let's see here. So his point is, if it clears the 200 over here, so if it gets down here, and it's not time yet, obviously, but it's going to be hard to break this level because look at all of this. Here's a bunch of bottoms. Here's some tops in here. Here's a consolidation channel. And it's going to be hard to break 96. Now, can it break 96? 100%. It's broke 96 so many times. But you're going to face some resistance. If it can break 86, you're going to fall down here to 76. Why do I say that? Because there's a gap right here. Big gap that needs to fill. Big gap that needs to fill. But we'll see what happens with that one. Thoughts on short for Lulu? Well, I'm in Lulu, and I'm up. What am I up now? What is it down today? Down about 1% today. So I'm up about 10% now on Lulu. Let's just see if it can get through the 200. That's the big question here. Will it get through the 200-day moving average? Volume is excellent. The volume is absolutely excellent. So it's done a great job. It pushed down. Let's hope that today we close below the 200 and kind of finish it off and get another 2 weeks running here, because this is a really good trade so far. All right. If you're not in the community, join it. Link is in the description below. In the Patreon, you have full access to me. You can ask me any questions that you have, just like you're asking me on this live stream right now. And you have access to the other members of the community. Roblox short. I can't believe Roblox is still a thing. But I also don't have kids, so I don't know. Roblox short. Let's zoom this out. I don't hate this. I would have hated it back here, but I don't hate it here because you've kind of broke the big level of support. You got to take out the low. Take out the low of Monday, March 10th. Take out the low of the wick Monday, March 10th, which was 52.30. Take that out, meaning when I say take it out, get lower than right here. When you get lower than right there, you're already in the sweet spot. So you know you're going to have some nice run on it. Hopefully by the time you take this out, you have more selling volume coming in. So you have more red volume in here, and it just keeps pushing this thing down. All right. Let's see what else. What other questions do you guys have? Thoughts on Bank of America? Bank of America is another one. It's hard to do a long-term short on. If I was anybody, I would short XLF, which is the bank ETF. But that's just me. I don't think that it's going to get much lower than here, 38.77. So you got another $1 to go, basically. I just find it hard to believe that we would drop below this level. Let's look at XLF. The XLF is the ETF of all the big banks. Yeah, it's just going to be really hard to break this level. I see what people are seeing here, but unless we get like a broad market sell-off, and you can actually see here, the selling volume, though good and still over average, I'm not going to take that away from it. You can tell that the selling volume is decreasing, but it's still good selling volume. So you could still short it, but you gotta know that you're getting a deceleration in selling volume right now. Costco's finally broke down. It looks like the right move. Okay, let's see. Costco. Whoa, that was a hell of a fall from glory. Jeez. This thing is, look at this, guys. This was a power stock, and now it's not. They reported when? They reported a few days ago, so the earnings are over. Get through the 200. Let this thing get through the 200 right here. Get through the 200, and then you can do something with it. But I wouldn't do anything with it until you forcibly get through the 200. All right, AXP. Whoa, American Express is breaking down. big time. They're through the 200, so that's good. See, they're through the 200. It's almost the same as the banks. Like you're going to get stopped here. Yeah, you're gonna get stopped where you're at right now. So it's gonna be hard to break through. Can it break through? Yes, it can get to 243. 243 is the next big support level, but pay attention to the volume. Pay attention to the volume. You had a lot of buyers come in yesterday taking profits. You're having more buyers than sellers today. You had increasing selling volume, but now you're starting to get that change. So this might be the end of it because of the resistance line that I just drew for you. All right. All right. Let's see. Okay, what's next? What other questions do you guys have? What other stocks are you guys looking at right now? What other stocks are you guys looking at right now? Have you ever traded short term for a core? Have you ever traded short term from a core long term position? I don't understand your question. Can you please expand on that? PM. Philip Morris. Head and shoulders, huge gap to fill, low volume. Yeah, so it is a head and shoulders, definitely. Just draw it here. Head, shoulder, shoulder. Yep. Huge gap to fill, correct. And what was the last one? Low volume. Yeah, it's kind of always low volume on sin stocks. Yeah, I actually like what you're seeing here. I think that if this drops below this level right here, which is probably about get below that 25-day moving average with confidence, this has a hell of a long way to go down. I really like it. And I like that this is starting to break down as well. Really nice. Really nice. Okay. Lows. Low W. Lows. I wouldn't do anything from over here. When is earnings? Let's make sure. Okay, we have plenty of time. You're just so low on the stochastic here, and you couple that with you're definitely at a strong support level here. It would be very hard. It's going to be hard for you to get any lower than where we're at. Honestly, I would look to swing this back up because your stochastic is on the bottom here. I would look to swing this back to the positive. All right. PayPal, PYPL, PayPal long. Not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Your trend has to be working for you. Any good short-term stocks? Oh, well, I haven't looked at really any of that. One I just looked at, Lowe's is pretty good. Any general rules when to place a stop loss entering your first trade? Yeah, it depends on the risk you want to take. I say somewhere between 3 and 5%, and I would do a trailing stop loss. WMT. No problem, Steel. Walmart, short term, if it clears the 200, yeah, you could. You definitely could. If it clears the 200, if it gets below here with good selling volume, this will be in the sweet spot and you'll be able to have a pretty nice run down, maybe fill this gap. Walmart has been on this darling run. It's going to come to an end. And it seems like it is right now. GV. Whoa. Am I looking at the right thing? I wouldn't trade anything like this. Volume's too crazy. Target. Long eventually if it holds the support level. So current support level. Oh yeah, big support level here. Wow. Target's back to $100, huh? After being at 180. Dang. I guess all that trans stuff really didn't work out for him, huh? That's too bad. I thought it would. Usually works. Let's see here. Selling volume is really good. Honestly, you might want to just put a tracker share on this thing, to be honest with you. That's it. Fox A. Keep an eye on power stock forming a head and shoulders. It certainly is. Yeah, I would just keep an eye on it. I don't think it's anything that, well, see if it breaks the 50. If it breaks the 50, honestly, I would pay attention to this more than anything. See if it breaks down, because it's not breaking down right now. So you can't really do anything with it. I wouldn't go long on this either. It doesn't seem like when you get up here, it doesn't seem like it has a lot of volume. So Powell, oh God, I forgot about transitory inflation. Yeah, how'd that work out? How'd that work out, Jerome Powell? Transitory inflation. What a moron. All right. What other questions do you guys have? Any other questions right now? Any other questions, guys? Good ones today so far. Just keep paying attention to, if you're in the 4 or 5 stocks that I'm in right now, pay attention to those, and see what happens over the weekend. Intel, oh God, here we go. Intel's up 16% today. Listen, to me, forget Intel. If you want to swing trade it, I guess go for it. But to me, this is so volatile right now because no one knows what the hell's going on. I have no idea what's up with Intel. NU. Support for NU. So the support levels I see for NU are, it's basically here. $10.47, 1047. What I would say. Yeah, 1047. Is NU a good value play? I have never heard of this before. I have no idea, Hans. I have no idea. Brazilian fintech. Sounds like an oxymoron, but I don't know. All right, any final questions? Any final questions, guys? Good questions today. I will see you guys back here on Tuesday. And as usual, if you need if you have any questions in the meantime, message me in the chat. No problem, Patrick. No problem. I enjoyed it. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your day. If you need anything, as usual, message me. And if you're not in the Patreon yet, join it. It's $35 a month. There's limited spots.